Hi, I'm Marshall Brain and welcome back to the Time Capsule video project. Today we're going to look at vegetable gardening. This is something that has been the same for centuries. If you go to Alexandria, Virginia, you can see how George Washington kept his garden. If you go to Monticello, you can see how Thomas Jefferson kept his. Williamsburg has vegetable gardens. It's basically you go out, you till up the dirt, you plant some seeds, and vegetables grow. It's one of those great things about nature. In 2010, it's no different. There are millions of people across the United States who till up little spots or big spots in their backyards, plant seeds, and grow vegetables. So I thought I'd show you two vegetable gardens today. One at a grocery store here in Cary, North Carolina, about a mile from our house, and then the little garden we have in the backyard at the Brain household. So this is a little community garden that is behind the Whole Foods grocery store here in Cary, North Carolina. So the first thing you can see here is a watermelon vine. This is, I don't know, maybe halfway grown watermelon. There's about 4 or 5 of them in here. Here's another one. That's actually a nice stand of watermelon. Behind it, they've just done a little demonstration to show a rain barrel. So they've built themselves a little, I don't know, it looks like 8 by 8 foot roof, and it comes into these plastic barrels. Each one holds about 50 gallons of water. The first one picks up the water coming off the roof, and then these little pipes, hoses, chain each one together. So they have about 200 gallons of capacity here. The roof is just a wooden structure with thin aluminum. That's that would be a standard roofing material for something like a barn or a garden shed or something like that. The water just comes off the top of it into a rain gutter and then down into the barrels. So back here they have corn. So you can see it has produced corn. It doesn't. A lot of it has already been picked. Over here they have, what is this? Oh, this is pumpkins. So the pumpkins are blooming. And then if you look around here, there is an actual pumpkin growing. It's still small. It's probably got another month that it'll grow. See more back in here. This is an eggplant. Plant. It has these nice purple flowers and then produces eggplants. This is about half its full size. These look like kind of spindly tomato plants. A little late for tomatoes maybe. More tomato plants. Yeah, these are definitely tomato plants. So if you come over here, you can actually see a tomato. There. This is a bell pepper plant. Doesn't really have any fruit on it right now. What is this? I don't know what this is. Here's a bell pepper plant that actually has bell peppers on it. Actually, those are pretty nice looking bell peppers. So this would be considered a nice garden that you might have in a suburban area. What is this, about 30 by 50 feet? And it looks like it's produced a lot of stuff. Just for comparison, this is the Brain family garden. Much smaller. These are called raised bed gardens, and each one is 4 feet by 10 feet. So down at this end we have pumpkins, and down here we have cantaloupes that are up so far. Over here, this is a variety of lettuce that's sprouted, and then over there we have peas that are just sprouting. And what I'm going to plant today is some spinach. So we're going to plant it down here at this end. And you know, the idea is first you break up the soil. So you might do that with a rake or a hoe or a shovel, or if you're doing a lot of land, you would do it with a rototiller. So you get the soil all nice and broken up. And just to talk about this soil a little bit, this is, since it's a raised bed garden, you can kind of control the soil. So this soil has the normal clay, which was what was here beforehand, and then I mixed in with it some peat moss, which is sort of this decayed sphagnum moss that they mine out of peat bogs in Canada, and some kind of supplemental garden soil and some grass clippings to makes the soil a little looser, makes it easier to turn up like this. So then once you have that all kind of churned up like that, you can smooth it out. And spinach seeds are really small, so you kind of need it to be even. Alright, so this is where we're going to plant our spinach now. And then you know, if you just pour out a few, you can see these seeds are not very big, so I'm just going to put a few in my hand there. And what you can do is just make a little indentation in the soil like this. Well, so the battery went dead there, so let's try this again. You would just, you know, make an indentation in the soil, a little line or something, and you would take your seeds and you'd space them, I don't know, every 6 inches or something like that, and put the dirt over them. They need to be about a ½ inch deep. And you do that, this bed, this little area here, which is probably 3 by 4, you could probably fit 30 or 40 plants in that little space. You thin them out a little bit, but something like that. And you have a garden. So once you plant the seeds, then you would just take your standard garden hose, put a little water on it so the seeds can germinate. Presto, in, I don't know, it takes probably 2 months, and you have spinach, or lettuce, or peas if the cutworms would stop eating them. Here's an example of what cutworms do and why having a garden is not completely trivial. You can see right there a worm has just come and cut that pea plant right off. It happened this morning, so it'll be dead by this afternoon, and it's frustrating. Here's a close-up that shows you what cutworm damage looks like. And this is just part of gardening. If it's not cutworms, then it's some bug eating the leaves, or it's some nematode eating the roots, or it's some fungus getting in the fruit, or it's deer that come by, or rabbits, or even just Trixie running through the garden and smashing things. There are pests, and they try to wreck your garden, and part of gardening is just coming up with strategies to defeat the pests. The point, though, is that if you have land available, for example, in a suburban home, you can grow a lot of food. If you have 5,000 or 10,000 square feet, you could probably grow all the food you need for a year in your garden if you have a good climate. And there are people who do that. You can read about a guy in Pasadena who's able to grow on 6,000 square feet everything his family eats, and plus export stuff to local restaurants. So that's how people keep gardens in 2010. It'll be fascinating to see how long this activity continues. Does it continue forever? Like it's been around for centuries. Does it continue for centuries, or is this something that just dies out as the world becomes more and more technologically advanced? You, my great-great-great-grandchildren 200 years from now, know the answer to that question.